E.Jones.
The E.Jones Show. The E.Jones Show.
We have Miss Temisha Sledge on the line right now. And we're going to chop it up with Miss Sledge and, just have some random conversation. But first and foremost, I want to introduce you to Cody. Say hello to Miss Sledge.
How's it going, Miss Sledge?
Hi, how are you?
I'm alright. Nice to finally speak to you.
Nice hearing your voice, too.
We have Miss Stacy Jackson in the building with us.
Good evening, Miss Sledge. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Stacy?
I'm great. Excited for this conversation tonight.
Well, we're going to talk about, let's start off first and foremost, like with relationship-wise. Like, I want to ask you, why do you feel that men or women stray from a relationship? Like, what are the causes?
Oh, wow. There's probably many reasons why people stray. I guess it would depend on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like a behavior, I would stray for different reasons that somebody else would, or possibly I wouldn't stray. I guess it depends on the relationship I'm in at the time.
Mm-hmm. Could it be lack of interest, or could it just be maybe y'all grew apart?
I'm sure it's that for a lot of people, but, there's ways around that also. You can always choose not to be with somebody,
mm-hmm.
other than straying. But I think for me, I'm not naturally monogamous. I'm not just someone naturally that just wants to be sexually involved with one person. But I think when I have faith in the relationship and faith in the person and, I'm building towards something, being faithful isn't hard for me.
Okay. So but
it's not like it's not like a natural thing to just automatically want to be with just one person for me. A lot of other things have to be in place for me to want to do that.
Yeah, but why is that though?
I don't know, because I feel like I can be single and I can do whatever I want when I want. I'd rather do that than to sign on for something and to feel a certain way in a relationship. So I'm not someone who really cheats on somebody.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
Because I would just rather not be in the relationship.
And that makes sense if Red Stacey, I know you want to say something.
So let me just understand this. Are you speaking from a single point of view or from a marriage point of view?
You mean like if I was in a marriage?
Right.
Would I stray? Well, I would definitely think I wouldn't want to stray in a marriage. But, nobody's perfect. I don't know what would make somebody, act out in that way if they have vows. But at the same time, nobody's perfect. Obviously, we know people do stray when they're married or in relationships. Me, personally, I've never been married.
So it's different, right? If you're...
it's different for me.
Straying to me, I agree. It's a behavior. A lot of times people would say, "Oh, I've strayed because I'm unhappy. Oh, I'm astray because this is not going on in my household." I'm speaking from a marriage point of view. I can speak from a single point of view because I've been single before. But speaking as a married woman, if you stray, it's what you wanted to do. It's a behavior. There's no way I'm astray because my husband didn't kiss me goodnight. I'm just going to go out and stray because I don't agree. That's where the conversation come in. And I personally don't believe in that. We've been married 20 years. The flame is out. I'm into my marriage, and there's still things right now today that me and my husband did together for the first time. You know what I mean? So there's different levels, and it goes on and on and on and on. Everything is different. You learn different things about your mate. I can't really agree when someone says, "Oh, I strayed because I was unhappy at home." So what is going to make you happy with straying? You still got to come back home to that cat that you strayed away from.
Yeah, true. I think even the closest of couples, can go through certain things and, whether they're married or in a committed relationship. And I think people, like you said, it's a behavior. You choose to stray because you have to deal with the issues that you have regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know that there are people who, do that. They're unfaithful to their partners all the time, instead of dealing with whatever emotional connection issues they have, relationship issues they have.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go to the sexual aspect of the relationship. You have certain type of people that say that it takes a lot to please them, and their partner is not pleasing them the way they want to be pleased. Don't you think if you care about them, you should be able to show them how you want to be pleased, or do you feel like they should already know that?
Wait, before she answered that, are you saying being pleased, are we talking sexually?
Sexually, yeah.
Okay.
Because I hear a lot of women that say that all the time, like, oh, well, the reason why I dipped because he wasn't giving me what I need. But don't you?
Oh, wow.
But if you say that you're in love with a person, wouldn't you want to show them before you go where you need to go? I'm just asking, just a general question.
Who you want? Who's going to answer this?
Whatever,
first?
it doesn't make a difference. It's an open floor.
First of all,
yeah.
If your sexual relationship is not where it needs to be, you're part of the blame.
Okay.
Because it takes two people in that bedroom. So even if, let's just say, we're going to say, okay, he's bored.
Okay.
He's bored in the bedroom. Okay, guess what? It takes two. And I'm a strong believer of sex being driven by energy.
Okay.
Sex is being driven by chemistry. So, obviously, if there's no chemistry and there's no energy, it can become a boring act. But it's just like a football game.
Okay.
Somebody got to take that ball and run with it.
Okay. You hear that, Phil, right?
Somebody got to take that ball with it, and somebody got to get a touchdown. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a man teaching a woman or a woman teaching. And Rain just said the same thing. Some teaching, something should be already known, not just sexually. And that is true because even though sex is an action and it's more than just that. It's the touch, it's the feel, it's the conversation, it's the scent. It's more than just the penetration.
Gotcha.
When you're grown, when you get to a certain age and you're grown, because kids just lay it around and hump up and down. That's for teenagers.
They doing the 5-minute drill.
Yeah, that's for teenagers. Grown folks, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather have sexual sex than physical, the mental sex thing.
Okay.
Because just anybody can lay there and hump up and down. Honestly.
But you want to have the mental.
It's the mental. It's the touch. It's the feel. It's a whole lot of things that goes along with that.
And what's your spin on this, Miss Sledge?
Well, I agree with that. If you're in a committed relationship, there should be a certain way that you move without that relationship. You can't be immature about things like that anymore when you get to a certain point. But it's different for me sometimes because I'm someone that's I'm highly sexual and I'm insatiable. And sometimes when I get in a relationship, they don't have any complaints. But for the long haul, that tends to taper off. It's really hard for them to keep up with that.
Oh, I like that, Miss Sledge. Run that back, Miss Sledge. Miss Sledge said she highly sexual, so she said you got to be able to come with it. In other words, I like that.
I mean, I would want to be compatible still at the same time. I know that nobody's ever going to want to be as active as I want to be in a relationship. I know that I'm going to always be that one that wants to more, so I understand that. But when someone doesn't try to it's not so much about the quantity of it, just to give you quality sex or quality experience. Because if you're, living with somebody and you're in an intimate relationship, you should be having sex that's elevated in a certain way. It shouldn't just be you just laying there, and them not engaging you, So I don't know. I just think when you have a high sex drive, people tend to demonize that. And sometimes when you fall out of the social, acceptable bounds of sex, it's just different. Even for men and women, I feel like they both demonize how we sexually drive women sometimes.
I like the way she said demonize.
I like the way she said demonize.
Cody, are you learning something over there?
Because Cody, see, you ain't married, so you better. I think you
need
should
to listen
get
to
your
Miss
pencil
Sledge.
and your pen out.
You need to listen to Miss Sledge right now. Demonize.
Demonize.
Handling your business.
Basically, and I'm gonna run it back for you again. She says she is very highly sexually motivated.
I'm gonna be honest. I be seeing that in the conversations we be having on Facebook, though. Miss Sledge is very vocal in the conversations.
Oh, definitely, she is, and that's why I wanted to bring her on.
Hey, Reeve.
Me and
But I think some people say that men are always the ones that want more sex. I know, growing up, that's what I was always told. Men just want to have sex all the time, and that's not always the case. But I just learned that they don't want it all the time, and they should be able to. I mean, most of us women who want to do it when we want to, we still have to look at our relationships, and people have to work, people have to take care of families. So I know that appetite I have is going to have to be, curved to the side at some point. But I just think that your sexual appetite goes sometimes from a bonus to being basically, looked at as not being a bonus at some point in the relationship.
so you have to conquer that hunger that's inside.
Yeah, because it's a head trip. When a guy meets you and they get into this relationship with you, it's a head trip for them, to meet my desire. Then once they meet your desire, after a while, it's just like,
once they meet your desire, they got to pick it up. They got now. I mean, just go ahead and say what it is. Once they meet your desire, they got to step it up.
You hear that, Phil?
Yeah.
Because he quiet over there rubbing his chin.
If I'm being honest, even when I'm trying to be fair in a relationship, I'm still holding back because I could do this all day. I could do it all day. So you have to really do things you have to make sense of it. It's just not. I know that people don't think like me, and everybody's not like me. So I know that I have to be accommodating in a relationship, but I just feel like even normal things, it gets to the point where, if a man doesn't feel like he's satisfying you, you might not really want to do that all the time. And that becomes, a curse in a way because, I mean, what men link their masculinity to being able to satisfy you and having orgasms, help you have orgasms and things like that. They link their masculinity to that. When it shouldn't be. It should be two people being together and making each other be satisfied. But a lot of men, they feel manly and masculine if they can help you arrive at orgasms and, satisfy you in that way. They look at that as an extension of their manhood.
Well, it's like kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
And not to mention that multiple orgasm, might I say. Not that single, not that singular. Plural.
No, and not only that, men need to really look at, you have to look at being sexually skilled in these relationships because a lot of women, they don't just want, for me, I don't want just an orgasm. I want female orgasm and I want it to lead to female ejaculation. So for me, it's a whole different form of orgasmic pleasure. And you teach somebody how to get you there, and that's what you do even in a relationship. If you come across someone who isn't used to tapping into someone, on that level.
Cody, you got something to say over there?
Oh, no, I'm quiet. I'm speechless.
Well, this is to let the cat out the bag a little bit. Me and Temisha, we did a show. We had our own radio show. What was that, like, probably 10 years ago, Temisha? In that realm?
10?
About 10?
That wasn't that long ago.
You sure? It was a while.
Yeah, I think it was.
We had.
Was it that long? No.
It was a while. Matter of fact, I got a flyer that came across my Facebook thing. I got to find it to send it to you. It's been 10. And we used to do a show on Wednesdays called Wet Wednesdays. And Temisha is amazing. We had a young lady that called in, and I got to keep it PG-13. We had a young lady that called in, and Temisha and True helped this girl. She said she didn't know how to satisfy herself. And Temisha and True walked her through that. Live on the air.
Live on the air?
Live on the air.
I got one thing to say, and I'm going to keep it PG. Jack, 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 jack your body. Jack your body.
Right?
But you know what, though? I'm going to keep it PG. I had a whole baby at the age of 20. I had my first child.
Not half a baby?
A whole baby.
Okay.
And had never reached that top of that mountain. A whole baby. I had never.
Yeah.
So I've learned, I was taught, then I learned, and the best way to learn is self.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Self. And some people won't even understand that. I mean, the sex can be amazing. It can be amazing, but it's nothing like self. And some men may or may not understand that. Some men don't want you to self.
Because it's a knock at their, like she said, at their masculinity.
But you have no idea.
But that helps him.
It helps him. It helps the whole flow of everything.
Cover your ears, Cody. Grown folks talking right now. Oh, my fault. All right.
Yeah, because it's definitely going to help. Masturbation is, I feel like it's, it's a healing thing, and it's like a human sexual behavior that it's healthy as long as you don't become fixated on it. As long as you're not, that's all you can do and that's all you're doing. But if you're doing it in a healthy way.
I like it. We learning something today. Well, Cody is. We learning something over here today. He over there. He high yellow turning red over there. You got him turning real red over there. He quiet.
Man, y'all sleeping on me.
I was about to say, Cody, don't let them sleep on you.
They sleeping on me. It's cool. I let them talk. They talk. They'll learn.
But yeah, I do think that they're like. I mean, a lot of men they want women who are like sexually, I guess, insatiable. Is that what men are looking for?
Well, some are, because there's some men that will talk the talk, and then when they get their wish, then they want to backpedal. I always say to every man that conversates with me and say, "Well, this is the kind of woman I want," I say, "Well, be careful what you ask for, because then when you get it, now you don't know what to do with it."
That's right.
Yeah. And a lot of men are just used to like getting, just rolling around with a lot of different women, and they think having all these partners means that they're sexually inclined. And then when they get with you, you teach them that they really don't know anything.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. So I know that back in the days, you used to you was good at your pen game. What was it, writing erotic books or for magazines? Am I saying it correctly or no? Am I off?
Oh, it was like online, like it was like ghostwriting. Yeah, it was. It was pretty. It wasn't really erotica. I think that was more like what True was doing, erotica. Mine was more raunchy. It was. Yeah, it was different.
So my question to you now is, like, what made you? It's a 2-part question. What made you start writing, getting involved in that, and did your writing reflect how you thought, how you thought? Put it that way.
I think when you have a high sex drive and you're real insatiable, you see sex in a lot of things. You see it. I mean, you make jokes about it. You see it in food. You see it in everything. You can say something, and somebody can say, "Well, that's all you think about is sex." And it's not that I only think about sex. I just have I have a sexy imagination, and I can just see things in everything. And I think sometimes people think sex is in it all the time, but that's just because the drive is higher than most people's, and you have to find some way to utilize it. If you can't lay down and be physical, what else are you going to do? So that's what where the writing came in and whatnot. But I haven't been doing that in a while. I still write, but I haven't done anything where I'm ghostwriting or publishing anything like that.
Well, I have to say this about you. You know, like I said, we've known each other for some years, and when you answer certain topics on the page, it gets real quiet for a while. Cody, am I wrong or am I right?
Nah, he's definitely telling
It gets
the truth.
very quiet because I think some of the men that don't know you, they're trying to read into you, but then you throw them a curveball.
Yeah.
And what they're not understanding that is what you write on the page. It's real. And we did speak about that on the phone today. We can't mention his name because I don't want to get no lawsuits. But a gentleman that did inquire about you, and he was like, yo, what's good with Temisha? I said, bruh, I don't think you want to cross that bridge. Because if you cross that bridge, you're going to have to cross it correct. And if you don't come correct, she going to take your ego. I said, that's the only thing I'm going to tell you.
The thing is, I don't want to emasculate any man, not in the bedroom, not outside the bedroom. I love men. I uplift men, so that's the last thing I ever want to do. So when I get in these committed relationships and these issues come up with the relationship, it just seems like it all falls back on that sometimes, the sexual part of the relationship, or just not, men, or both of us not doing what we need to do in the relationship for it to work. So it's not always just them. I know there are things that I feel like is a fallacy, that people buy into about certain things. And I feel like men have what it takes. They can meet you where you are. They just have to be willing to do it. And sometimes they have to be willing to be truly intimate. Not just watching Netflix and holding hands. You have to really know how to truly be intimate with somebody. And you can meet somebody where they're at, and they can meet you where you're at. I mean, they might can take you somewhere you haven't been. Or vice versa. I just think it's fear. A lot of people have fear about these things and expectations.
We got Miss Jackson. She leaned back and shit. Stacy cool. She like, I like it. And
I always think they can. When I'm in a committed relationship, I'm like, we can do it. You can do it. So it's not like I'm not trying to motivate it. And of course I want to motivate it because I want it. I want it. So it's not like I'm just telling someone to show up and this is what you got to do. I'm definitely there to motivate it. It's just a matter if if that's what it's going to take, if it's going to happen or not.
I like what you said. You kind of made me, when you said motivate them, it kind of reminded me of the little engine that was trying to get up the mountain. I like the way you said, I'm trying to motivate them to get up the mountain. You can do it. Get up the mountain. Go. Just get it. So
because you want a healthy relationship. You want it to be balanced, And I want to embrace it. I don't want to hide it. I don't want to ever, feel like I gotta hide my desires or make excuses for them because they're not going anywhere. There's nothing I can do about how I am. I've been this way since I can remember. I've been fascinated with sex since I can remember. And before I even had physical sex, I was someone who had oral sex. I didn't have physical sex till later, so I just always have been fascinated with sex. So,
but what makes
that is something that I want to have a healthy sexual relationship.
But you said before you had physical sex, you had oral sex.
Yeah, I had oral sex before I ever had physical sex, and I was like a late bloomer as far as having vaginal physical sex. I was a late bloomer in that instance, but I I just always been fascinated with sex and with pleasure. It's always just been something, and I always, knew how to please myself and what I wanted. From the time that I was, physically active, I knew what I wanted.
Again, Cody, look, like I salute you. I salute you. And again, like I said, I've known her for some years, and I love talking with her because it's no, you understand what I mean? Say
No gray.
It's no gray. This is what it is, and it is what it is. And I say, and that's why I say a lot of people that have questions for you. I said, just make sure she's not going to dance around you with no question. If you ask, she's going to give it to you. So, and I think a lot of men, just my opinion with you, even on the page, they scared that you're going to take their ego. And it's not that you've done it. It's just that you're so straight to the point, and you're so comfortable with yourself, your sexuality. Like, it is what it is. This is what I like to do. Blah, blah, blah. Hey. So, like, in a relationship now, let's go into a relationship. Did you ever have somebody that was absolutely intimidated by you because you let them have it?
Sure, I've been with men that have been intimidated by me sexually, and I'm sure in other ways. And I've been in relationships where, like, I just thought that, because we were sexually active, that I would get what I needed out of the relationship, and a lot of time goes past, and then you stop getting what you need. So it's one of those things where someone like me that feels the way I feel about sex, I had a hard time admitting that I was not having sex in one of my relationships. I would never admit that to anybody because nobody would ever believe that I'm in a relationship that is sexless. But I was in a sexless relationship, and it was the most painful thing I have ever done. Because it's so much a part of me to not be able to, to act on it. And I didn't want to go out and act on it with anybody else. I just was like, you know what, forget it altogether. And I just felt like I was going backwards in how I felt about relationships. And I did all of this because I was in this relationship with someone who just had a lot of issues with living up to, his own greatness. He just had a lot of issues. Mm-hmm. He was very prude. He just didn't want to learn anything. He wasn't insatiably curious, wasn't funny no more. He wasn't tender. He wasn't tentative. I just had to do everything in a relationship. So it just got to the point where this last straw was him not even wanting to be sexually active and, throwing that up in my face that he didn't want to be that way. So it's a lot, I never would really admit that to anybody because I just always felt like nobody would really identify me with someone who's not having sex. But it can happen. So, and that's and it's all intimacy. It's all intimacy based. This is somebody I'm having an intimate relationship with. So when the intimacy was an issue and the relationship and the emotional connection was the issue, the sex stopped. But in my other relationships, I could be angry with you. If you lived in my house, I was going to sleep with you still. You would have to do something really, really bad for me not to have sex with you. But in this relationship that I just got out of, I let him off the hook. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So that was really hard emotionally, not having that physical thing. Because some people do yoga, some people exercise, jog. For me, sex is like a big release for a lot of things. So that I would do that over all those things. So to not have that in the relationship, it was painful.
I hear you. I guess you said I need my vitamin D.
And that's another thing. We are not going to even get on that,
Okay, I'm not going to get you stuck. let me retract that.
Don't bring that
up. Cody's like, nah, let it rip.
Yeah, that's hard. It's hard. I mean, there's no reason you should have a healthy male under your roof, and they're able to produce semen over and over again, and have intercourse, and you not be able to, and you know, have that anytime you want it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. I'm a
Because
woman.
it's ridiculous, but it just got to where, like, there's no connection there, and you don't want to even be involved. You know, that's why I'd rather just be by myself than in a relationship that's going in that direction.
Mm-hmm. So basically,
Because
the relationship just wore you out. You just like right now you don't want no part of a relationship because of him being a prude, because of him not wanting to be sexually active with you. So the status of you right now is you just want time to do you. If I'm correct, if I'm assuming, let me know.
I'm not committed, but I'm not lonely at all. You know, so whenever I want to do whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. It's just, I like being in a relationship. I like being committed. I like being with the person and being into that person. And I just wasn't getting that reciprocated to me. So that's why everything else just fell at the wayside. I mean, when you're doing everything, you know, paying every bill, making every arrangement, you know, paying for every trip, when you're doing everything, you don't really want to have sex with a person. And I never could admit that because I was always somebody that said, I'm going to do it regardless. If they live there, I'm doing it regardless. You know, that some people call it make-up sex, you know, when they're having a hard time with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really call it that because I feel like I can separate sex from emotions. I never had a problem with that. A lot of my friends, you know, and females that I've talked to always had an issue with separating the two. I never had a problem with the two because I was always so sexually inclined that I can actually say this is all I want to do or this is what I want to do. So that's why when I'm in love with somebody, I know that I'm only there for that reason. You know, I'm not there just because I want to be sexually active with a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people pick these relationships and they open them up, you know, open relationships, open marriages, I mean, to each its own, but for me, I'm not somebody you want to open the door and let go sleep with somebody else. You don't want to do that. So I think it would be a good idea.
To keep it in the box.
Yeah, because then they come up with all these rules and things, you know, when you're in these open relationships and open marriages. There's all these rules you got to follow, and I just don't think I'm somebody you want to open the door and say you're allowed to go do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you would want to do that with me.
I hate, and why is that? Because you feel like once Pandora's box is open, it's not going to be able to be closed.
No, and then you're exchanging these desires with people, but you're saying there has to be rules, you know. I just don't think that it would work with me. You know, so I don't know. I would prefer to either be in a relationship that's committed or not in one.
Mm.
And that's why I didn't stray. Even in this last relationship, when it got to where it was sexless, I didn't even stray.
Gotcha.
I didn't even stray. Okay.
I didn't. Oh, I thought about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every room I went in, I was looking at the dick print. I mean, every time there was a man around, I thought about it, but I just didn't do it. You know, it was just one of those things where I'm 45 years old now. It's like you want a connection with somebody, and you want them to step it up. They got to come and join you in the relationship, and if that means getting to know you enough to be able to satisfy you and you satisfy them, that's what it takes. And if they don't want to do it, they shouldn't be in relationships. So
is that a conversation that you have with them, or would you just go stray? Do you have that conversation? Look, this is what it is, and this is what you need to do.
Yeah, I had that conversation in this relationship. Definitely. We're going to need to go ahead and wrap this up because, he's in the way. He's keeping me from things that I want to do. I mean, and it's not just sexual things I want to do. I mean, it's a lot of things that he was hindering me from doing. So, yeah, the conversation came up over and over again, and to the point he just was not going to make a move unless he was removed. He wasn't going to leave.
Wow.
He just wasn't going to leave. So, I don't know. I want to be careful with, getting involved again, because that was 7 years of my life where it's like, okay, I can't get that back, and nor do I want to get it back. It was an experience. You learn from things, but I don't want to keep, giving somebody a lot of my time and then wasting my time.
I like it. You really putting it on the table, and I think it's good for people to hear your story, because I'm sure somebody out there that's going through a similar situation. It might be a lot of people, male or female, that's going through a situation like that. That they're not having no type of sexual relationship with the person they are, because they just fed up and sick and tired of them and just had enough. And I
feel like it's bad if you're not disabled or injured or have a reason to not have sex. That's bad if you're living together and you just won't have sex. Unless you just don't have, some people don't have high sex drives, or they don't desire it as often. Maybe some people only need it, a couple times a month. Some people tell me they have sex a couple times a year, and I'm like, okay, whatever that, I don't, I just wonder what pathology is involved when you won't have sex with somebody. I'm thinking something's wrong with you.
That sounds like nursing home sex. Once a year. roll them in here. Come on, Harry.
But when you're highly insatiable, men try to make you feel bad for that after a while. At first, it's like they're all on top of you and they're trying to keep up. And then after a while, it's like, well, you want to do it too much. I can't do it. We did it twice this week.
Wow.
I'm thinking, twice a week is rolling over in the middle of the night. That's where your 2 times come. What about the other 3-4 times?
Wow.
So to say, they start to blame for it because they know they're not satisfying you, basically.
Well, I got a surprise for you, and for y'all. Her name is Temisha, but we call her Mimi. But I got a surprise for you, Mimi. I'm going to throw something in the air real quick because I have another guest that's merged into the line. And I don't want her to reveal who she is yet. I'm going to throw something at her. Caller that just called in, we're talking about, what's that word you use, Mimi? Insatiable?
Yeah, insatiable or highly sexual.
Could you just give me something that involves a highly sexual person? My calling guest.
I can try.
Let's go.
Have I ever told
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
I'm a child of...
Go ahead, go.
And when you live in this darkness and chaos and beauty, you tend to have a dominant, submissive, insatiable appetite for disaster. I went to camp once, and it was the first time that I seen a daddy long leg. And then I realized I like long legs. You see, this appetite is not only for success. You want to suck the savage out of a beast and let him re-emerge with his helping madness. Have you ever had a conversation with a madman? I did once. I called him Air. And have I ever told you that if I was a man, I teach you men how to fuck me and how to love me.
Watch the language.
Sensational. I'm sorry. Am I a bit too vulgar in my vocabulary and my verbiage?
Mm-hmm.
As we verbalize with mental sex, and we stimulate in parlez-vous français and other languages on hands and knees, and I'm not talking about praying. I'm talking about staying afloat socially, psychologically, and playing in my ring of fire if you can go to level 20. I'm talking about an insatiable appetite for disaster. We can live on Jupiter and play in his hurricane, and I can be the eye of your storm as we roam. And even it was not built in a day. So I can teach you how to master the mind of a woman that is insatiable, tantalizing, and disastrous. But I think I should stop there before my thesis goes further into a more demographic of a dissertation of the chaos, gyrating formula of sexual madness for a woman with an insatiable appetite for disaster, the beauty within chaos. Thank you.
All right now. Is that Maya Angelou?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good friend of me and Temisha. True Hogan in the building. That was deep.
How you doing?
You almost gonna cost me to get kicked off the air and get a fine with the FCC. So we're gonna have to clean them F-bombs up real quick. But
No, you tell me not to. You tell me not to cuss, and she come on here
cussing, and she was hitting it with the. So we got True Hogan.
True. How you doing?
And edit that for the FCC regulations and all of that.
Yeah.
But, I am raw and I am real and I am what I am. So yeah, definitely edit that. But hey, Mimi.
Hi, how are you, True?
I'm good, and hello to the person that attempted to reprimand me for using the F word. How are you?
That was me. We have Cody here. Go ahead, Cody. You can say hello.
What's going on, True?
I'm well, Cody. How are you?
I'm alright. I'm chilling.
Good.
And then we have Miss Jackson here, Miss Stacy Jackson in the building.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, how you doing?
Uh-huh.
I am nasty. I am well. Pleasure to meet you, goddess.
So we here, we having a great conversation with Temisha, and I kind of told the crew here about our little Wet Wednesday adventures that we started off on the airwaves, and how we helped a lot of people get from first base to home plate.
Yeah.
And I was telling Stacy how you guys talked a young lady into having an orgasm on the air. Helped her out. Trust me, it never left my mind because I'm still sitting here like, wow. I didn't know how it went down, but it went to Temisha's telling her what to do. True was spitting poetry at her, and she was I'm like, oh, whoa. It happened.
Yeah,
she was an easy life.
If I recall correctly, she had a difficult time with a man bringing her to orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the gist of the thesis was that she hadn't really gotten to know herself or release herself from that inhibition to allow the right gentleman to mentally, emotionally, and physically stimulate her to that point. And I think we did assist on air.
Yeah.
And a lot of gentlemen attempted to assist her in the past, and I think they were pretty ticked off and amazed at the same time from the feedback that we got. But it was a good show. It was very productive.
Yeah, it was really nice back then. It was fun.
And I think we broke a couple of records. Yeah, y'all caused me to get sleep on the couch a couple of times because of the antics that we had over the air. But it was definitely something that gave me growth to go into the morning time and do morning radio, because I felt like after we accomplished that, I didn't want to do night radio no more. And I was kind of threatened to not do night radio no more. So
yeah.
That
was definitely an epoch. That was an epoch. And as a matter of fact, there were a number of shows that surprised me. People were like, yo, I can't get on the line, or we just blacked out the internet because there was not enough bandwidth. People were like, oh my God, Eric, y'all are on, and I have these issues. And we were like, are we therapists?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of them.
Yeah. it's something.
So, Miss Jackson here, she does a lot of wonderful events. I think you do in the realm of spoken word, right?
I can do it all.
But I'm just saying when you do your events, you do have spoken word poetry.
We have.
People. We gotta get True here.
Let's get her here.
We gotta get her here because True is an OG in this poetry game, and she's been doing this for some years. And as Cody, you heard she got some raw stuff. We had to turn it down, but we gotta get her, in front of a microphone where she can just let it go.
She could just do the Jill. She could do the Jill Scott.
Oh, the Jill Scott.
I forgot. And I'm usually very mindful. I'm a really sweet lady in more ways than one. But I forgot that we were under the FCC regulations. And, Eric, he has this habit of telling me to go for it. And, I didn't realize it. I said, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't even use the CU. I didn't even use the CUM word. And you come on here.
You have to understand that it was out of the blue, and he was like, my show, and then I just did another show, and I'm like, well, I haven't done erotica in a while, but, when I go in, it is what it is. So,
Yeah. Guys, do edit.
Yeah, it's only 2. Q, but don't. I'm gonna tell you now. Q will be in your inbox. Somebody, come on now, True. I got to clean this up. So hey, I'm just giving you a heads up.
And you know me, I under this sweetness, I am a fearless lioness. I can admit, be accountable when I'm wrong and say, okay, enough said. Go ahead and edit. And I know you listen to it, Q.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna listen anyway because the minute I said, well, I had me and True on. He's going to tune in.
Yeah.
He's going to listen and say, oh, wow. Whoa.
And I meant to give you that link for the semen therapy link. I meant to give you that so you can put that up.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, hand that over so we can put that up. What you think, Miss Jack? Stacy, like, what?
Therapy.
Semen therapy. Have you ever heard of that, Phil? He's over there shaking his head like, nah.
I've never heard of it, but I'm gonna go home and try it tonight.
Okay, we have a candidate
See?
here. See, spread love.
You gonna try it tonight?
Tonight, girl, I can't wait.
Wow!
Hit me with that link, please.
We'll share.
I got a wild imagination, but I'd like to see that link as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you can even go on the sementherapy.com. You can go on to that. It just talks about different health benefits to drinking semen and enjoying semen.
Okay.
Okay. The milk.
The milk.
The milk. Did Michael Jackson die because of the milk? Oh, my fault. That was something different.
So in other words, it's let's go to a commercial break.
So, ladies, it was a pleasure for you guys calling in, and we got to do a part 2. What you think?
I think we got to do a part 2.
We got to do a part 2.
Yeah,
so
anytime.
No, we got to do a part 2. Cody, what you think?
Nah, that's a fact. We need it.
We got to do a part 2. So, ladies, I really appreciate y'all calling in. True, I will let you and Temisha know when we doing this part 2, but this part 2 is going to happen before this month ends.
I guess y'all gonna have to talk me through.
Said we need it.
I guess y'all gonna have to talk me through it because Miss Jackson don't swallow.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, Miss Jackson don't swallow, baby.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a full-grown Aquarius by nature, but Miss Jackson.
Well, you can still play in it.
I'll do all that. But I'm not swallowing. They produce a
lot of it. They really do. Don't let them tell you they ain't got none. They got some left. They produce a lot of it.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Eric,
Eric done came out his headphone, girl.
Wow. I gotta plug myself back in.
He done came unplugged.
Wow. And this ain't even MTV.
Eric, do you need me to do a cleaner version so you can just omit the other poem? I can do a cleaner version.
All right, take us out. Take us out. I'm gonna let like we did back in the days. I'm gonna let True Hogan take us out, and then we can go into the music. So,
all right.
So you know how this goes. I need a word or phrase.
Go ahead, Miss Jackson. Give us something. She can do it off the head.
I didn't really hear. I'm sorry.
She said give her a word or a phrase.
Swallow.
Swallow.
Oh. Yeah, swallow.
Radio version.
Drink it.
Of course.
The radio version.
I would like to teach you how to,
Swallow
in the mellow,
of the melody of his juices.
but I'm going to keep it PG, and I'm going to teach you how to swallow.
A chewed pear. First, you take the pear. You roll it in the palm of your hand. You warm its juices.
Then you take your tongue, and you stick the tip on the edge
Of the skin.
and you lightly lick it. You take your teeth and you nibble softly. And juices will flow onto your palate, both the hard and the soft part. Then I want you to chew it lightly. Suck it a little with your tongue. Swirl it around
Your jawline.
rub it against your teeth.
But be gentle. And as your kind comes, COMES, this is the clean version.
From your gland.
Let your mouth feel. Then you continue to softly chew.
Can't you taste it? Tastes good, doesn't it? And then, once you've had your feel of the
Pear, and your mouth is full of juices of citrus and lemon and lime, I want you to take a deep breath.
then swallow all of it.
Because sharing is caring. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you swallow a pear.
Thank you.
Good night.
Ladies, thank you. We appreciate you so much. And I will be in contact and let y'all know when we're going to do part 2.
Thank you.
Sure
Good
thing.
night.
Y'all have a blessed one.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
You
Bye,
too.
Miss
See you all.
All right.
Cody.
All right, y'all.
Bye. See you
Bye-bye.
later.
See you later. Wow. Full of surprises on this show, huh?
I would say.
Okay, so
Sharonda, you better come on back to work, girl.
Stacey's like, wow. Sharonda would have put a battery in her back. So this,
Oh yeah.
this was kind of cool because Lisa will come in on part 2, but Sharonda would push it along a lot more. Let's ride the cliff. Let's just jump. Let's jump. No problem.
The E.Jones Show. The E.Jones Show. The E.Jones Show.